reactions, interviews and more. Subscribe.
Fight fans, welcome. This is Sir Chat A Lot of Boxing. Today I'm doing an interview that I've been waiting to do for a long time. Joining me is boxer and character. I was going to say Prince Patel, but he's called Big Sexy today. How you doing?
I'm all good, thanks. Hope you're great as well.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. And as I appreciate your time, like I said, I've been waiting to do this one for a long time. I know on social media, Twitter and stuff, people's been trying to get this interview like going when we've had through the comments and stuff. But here it is, and I hope everyone enjoys it. And I hope you're not going to rinse me on this interview like you did Kugan Cassius several years ago.
No, I won't do that.
We've got many interesting things to talk about, but first of all, you have a fight coming up on January 31st in Bangkok, Thailand.
Yep.
WBA Asia Gold Super Lightweight title against an undefeated fighter. I hope I pronounce this right. Yahya Musa, an unbeaten knockout artist. Is this another case for you of another O has to go?
Well, 100%. Yeah, I like popping cherries. The thing is the reason why I wanted it to be someone who had a lot of KOs is because it shows me that they come to fight.
Yeah.
If you get guys sometimes when they ain't got many stoppages and they're just like they're good boxers and they move around a lot, they're harder to stop because they don't come to fight. Just like in the UK, I believe a lot of journeymen they masters at completing rounds, whereas they're difficult to stop. I want someone who's going to give it a go, so they leave gap, but they're open to get hit themselves, and hopefully I can take them out.
Well, as you say there as well, it always makes for an exciting fight for the fans as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I like to give the supporters, the boxing fans, good night. Yeah,
definitely. Well, your boxing career is 36 fights, 33 wins, 28 knockouts, 2 draws, 1 loss. A winner of endless amount of titles as well, from super flyweight to bantamweight, including IBO bantamweight world champion, WBO European, super flyweight Commonwealth, WBA global, WBO Africa. I mean, I've got the list in front of me here, WBA Intercontinental, just some of the belts you've won. There's many more as well. Reflecting on that, you're the only Indian boxer to win Commonwealth and professional world title. Can you tell us a bit more about these brilliant achievements you've done and what it means to you being an ambassador for Indian boxing?
Well, I don't know. As a child, I didn't really see many Indians in boxing at all. When I was younger, the only Asian I saw in boxing was Amir Khan when he won a silver in Athens. There wasn't really much representation. Now there's a lot more representation as South Asians. There's a lot of representation, but there's still, I believe, there isn't high amounts of Indian representation. There's a lot of Pakistani. Now you've got Bangladeshi representation as well on TV as well on Matchroom. There's just not really much Indian representation. So I always wanted there to be an Indian world champion.
Yeah.
So thankfully I was the one who managed to do it myself. So it's a bit of history, but to be honest, I'd like to see a lot more. I'd like to see a lot more of us out there winning it. I believe we've got the abilities to do it. It's just about finding the right promoters, believing in you as well. Because the sport, people say there's a lot of things that make someone become a world champion. It's not necessarily just about how good the fighter is.
Yeah.
There's luck plays a huge role into it. Backing, and again, that plays a huge role into it. And right place, right time, which kind of goes towards luck and just obviously the self-discipline, because you get some really good fighters out there and they don't stay disciplined and they go off the tracks a little bit and then they stop boxing and they come back and they just sometimes ain't the same fighter, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but
I totally get that.
Yeah, there's loads of things with it, but it's going off topic a bit. But yeah, I just want to see a lot more people like myself really that can do well in the sport of boxing. That doesn't mean I've got anything against any other races or countries or anything like that.
Yep.
Most of my friends are of different races. Like one of my friends who boxes as well is called Martin Hillman. He's the Commonwealth silver champion, really good friend of mine. He's actually holds an Irish passport, but he sounds English. But he's a really good guy and just and he's a complete different race to me. So it goes to show that as long as you're a good person, that's what really matters. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I do know Martin Hillman, and I will be getting him on my channel as well. He's a great guy, Martin. He's
good fighter as well.
He is, yeah, definitely. Well, you started here in the UK, being promoted by, I believe it was Steve Goodwin in 2015, was it?
That's completely correct. Yeah, I had my debut with Steve Goodwin. Then I done an interview with Coogan in 2015. That then done the rounds a little bit on the internet, and then I signed with Frank Warren, Box Nation Queensbury at the time, and had a couple of matches, and then just didn't really work out that well together, and I just went off and done my own thing, sort of thing.
Well, that's what I was coming to as well. We haven't seen you that much on UK shores.
Yeah.
Like you was promoted by Frank Warren in 2016. You began with Frank Warren. Do you believe that Prince Patel, Big Sexy, should have had far more exposure on British soil?
Look, I personally believe if I was promoted correctly, I believe I could have been one of the biggest superstars in boxing. That's if I was promoted correctly. I believe the fact that my debut kind of speaks for itself. Like, how many fighters do you know could go on a small hall show and then leave having the whole boxing community in watching his interviews and wanting to know more about this guy and stuff like that? Because it wasn't. And this is the thing where people always used to go to me. It's about merit and stuff. It's not even about merit. As an amateur, I won 4 national titles. I got to 6 national finals. I got to the senior finals as well. I went in the seniors a year early as well, so I could have really and truly got another 2 national titles out of me with the juniors again, and then the 3 nations, which should have been junior titles. But I could have still done that. Didn't do that. Went in the seniors, lost to Charlie Edwards in the London though. But he went on to win it as well. But it's like, it's not about merit, because no promoter wanted to sign me at that point. They weren't interested. No one wanted to work with me. The moment I do an interview with Coogan and it does the rounds a little bit, and suddenly everyone was interested. So really and truly, it sounds like the promoters weren't interested in the actual hard reality of boxing, which is the actual skills in the ring. They were more interested in the theatrics outside of the ring, which I understand is a bit of show business, I suppose. But like, you're kind of lied to as a kid, where you're told like, win the ABAs, box for England, all this sorts of stuff, and you'll get picked up by a big promoter and stuff. It's not really the truth. It's like, it's more like who you know at that point. Like, if your dad knows like a promoter and that promoter likes you and stuff like that. Like, you see it with many fighters. Like, I don't want to really say anyone's names, but like, I'll just say it anyway. Like Campbell Hatton, for example, I don't think he's very good, but he's getting opportunities, and another opportunity again. I think he's coming back.
Okay.
Conor Benn, if you looked at his amateur pedigree, which was non-existent, and then kept getting chances after chances and fighting guys like Cedric Pienaar, who put him on his ass, I think, once or twice. And that sort of fighter, if he didn't carry the name Ben, wouldn't be in the position he was in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying at the moment he's not looking good. He is looking good, but then it's like there's question marks over how he's looked good and how he's managed to improve and stuff like that. I found out recently that he wasn't actually exonerated. He was he just basically sued UCAD to the point where they had to prove how he had it in his system. So instead of proving it, which they basically were saying, well, if it was the fact you failed the test was why it was in your system, they just couldn't go around that. So they just basically allowed him to fight again. I don't know how true that is, but that's what Brunch Boxing said. So I'm just quoting that in case there's misinformation. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I just feel like people get given chances and stuff, and I believe I'm someone who hasn't really been given the chances. It's like, I always say this, and I'll continue to say it. When I was with Frank Warren, I was with him for 23 months completely. 23 months, and it was a 3-year contract, but I asked him my contract back at, I think it was 22 months, and then 23 months later they gave it back to me. 8 months from fighting on my own, when I had my first match when I went overseas, I was number 10 with the WBO. So I don't think I was the issue when I was with Frank Warren. If you break it down and you look at it in that aspect, the guy who was with you for 23 months went off and done his own thing for 8 months, and now he's number 10 in the world. I would say really, you can just put 2 and 2 together there, really. I wanted to fight. I used to show them different fighters. I used to say, like, what about me against this guy for like this, or what about this guy and then this guy? But I don't know, at the time, I never actually used to have correspondences with Frank Warren. I was speaking to a guy called Andy Yalin. I don't know if you know who he is.
Not really, no.
a fucking idiot. But I'm sorry for swearing. But yeah,
That's
he's
fine.
just
That's
a
fine.
complete buffoon. Don't know. He used to manage Hamza Suarez,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he eventually got his. I think he had to release him at a point. But yeah, I think Andy was just. I think he was just against me. Didn't want to see me do well, and yeah, just I had to basically get out of that contract and do things myself.
Well, the last time you actually fought in the UK was in 2023. Before
Yeah,
that was 2016. I think it was a four
yeah, yeah,
rounder. You know, as you've mentioned already about the way boxing can be, the showbiz side of thing. You're not just a boxer; you are a character as well. We will come
yeah.
to more things about that as well later on. The big promoters, Frank Warren, obviously who you've been with before, Ben Shalom, Eddie Earn.
Mm.
Has any of them in the last 5 years, for example, been in any contact with you about talks of anything or
I
whatever?
I was in some small talks with Ben Shalom. This is when he first got the Sky Sports deal, and the fact he's no longer with Sky Sports and the fact that I wasn't signed with him kind of tells you how that conversation went and what's probably going through that guy's mind. Like the reason why you're getting dumped by Sky. And let's face it, Sky is like the sort of channel which they should always be involved in boxing. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
It's such a great channel, great exposures, great viewing figures, great history as well, like super history. Um, but yeah, like he's got BBC 2 and 3 and stuff like that, which isn't really the main one. It just goes to show like the BBC don't really believe in what they're putting out with him. It's just an opinion. I could be wrong, but or maybe the BBC are just scarred with Audley Harrison because he had a little spell with them.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't want to be disrespecting Audley. He's quite a big, large geezer. I don't really want him paying me a visit, but
You had that problem before with large
yeah,
geezers.
I've got to leave the big guys alone, man. I've got to leave them alone. But yeah, like I don't know, like I just feel like with Ben, like I don't really think he knows what he's doing. I think he's like a fan who wants to be like involved in boxing, but doesn't really know how it works in his run. Just
Yeah.
an opinion, could be wrong.
We've had it for I think since the start of January, even late last year. We've had like a thing with Ben Shalom as well, saying there's a pay-per-view model coming and everything. I mean, in all honesty,
You ain't got no pay-per-view fighters.
you took the words out of my mouth. That's the
You,
issue,
you
isn't it?
don't though.
At
Like
the moment,
I look at it and like we're both boxing people, obviously. Like, but you seem to like be involved by more watching and interviewing guys. So obviously, if you're involved in the media, you're gonna have to know all the elite fighters and
yeah, yeah.
the fighters in and around and stuff. And I don't know. I just feel like he hasn't really got a pay-per-view fight. Like Fraser Clarke's not pay-per-view material. And that's not me just saying that because I don't particularly like him, but I'm just saying it in the sense to say I just don't see him as a pay-per-view star at the moment. Not to say he can't become one, just don't think he is. Francesca Hennessy, I believe, is definitely not a pay-per-view star. That's just I can't really see many geezers down the boozer going, we need to watch Francesca Hennessy, get that fight on now. I just can't really see it. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. Like I've got nothing against the family.
See your point.
But I just don't really see that. Another fight he's got, Adam Azim. I'm not saying he can't become a pay-per-view star. I just don't think at the moment he is one.
Yeah.
And I think he's a bit far away from becoming one as well. And then if you ask me any other fighters that Boxer have got, I don't even know.
I've interviewed obviously Jack Massey, great guy. Obviously very inactive at the moment. Problem with that inactivity at boxers for a lot of fighters. But yeah, they are. They're at a stage where they are lacking a real big pay-per-view star at the moment. I mean,
Jack Matthews actually a good fighter as well. I
very
remember him
good.
from the amateurs. He won an IBO cruiserweight as well. He's a good fighter, yeah. I think he fought Parker as well, didn't he? At
Yeah,
heavyweight.
heavyweight. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a bad fighter, but even him, no disrespect to him, I don't think he's a pay-per-view star either. So I don't know who he's going to put on for that. But then the problem is with what I think it is I think he's going to try and push Adam on. I think he's going to try and maybe get him an IBF world title. And the only way he can do that is by doing a pay-per-view model because I don't think the budget they've got on the BBC is good enough. So the only way he can make the budget higher is by doing pay-per-view.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I don't think many people would tune in if he did do pay-per-view, but it's the only option he can do.
Yeah, this is the problem at the stars. Like you know, you see I mean, we're even hearing now that we're going to have Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder on pay-per-view. For me, that isn't a pay-per-view fight, but it's
To
the
pay
names,
them,
isn't
you're
it?
gonna yes, to pay them, you're gonna have to do pay per view.
Yeah, yeah. Which is fair enough, but I hope they stack the card as well, because I won't be paying for it as a boxing fan if the card isn't stacked, and that's a problem
Yeah,
where we're in boxing now. They need stacked cards as well.
yeah, I
One
agree
name,
with that.
well, one name I didn't mention, he's making waves the last week, was Dana White and Zuffa Boxing. I don't know if they're about to get going.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
seen that. Seen that.
I don't know if you have an opinion on it and what they can do
Um,
in the sport.
I seen Nick Khan's involved with that. He runs AEW, which is a rival to
Wrestling.
WWE. Yeah, yeah. I think obviously Turkey Al Sheikh's involved. Dana's obviously involved. But I've looked at Dana's method in MMA, and I've seen how like fighters are being paid and stuff, and I can't see how that can work within boxing because the fighters are just like, "Oh, it's the same fighting."
Mm.
So I don't know if that aspect, if that's good for it. I see they also said they don't want to have the 4 belts. They want to remove all the belts. Um, I don't know how that works, considering Oro Pataya, who they signed recently, says he wants to become undisputed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know. Like they could be good for boxing. I think what's good for boxing is just fighters getting more famous and getting paid more.
It's all about
If you're getting paid good money, then you're obviously something good's going on. If you're not getting paid good money, then obviously you're just doing it for the legacy. Then, which is nothing wrong with that, but really and truly, at some point, you're gonna have to look at it and be like, I want to be buying houses, I want to be buying different things and stuff like that. So there's options, there's different things like that. But if they got Turkey involved, I'm assuming there's big money involved. So that could be something I would be interested in. No one's reached out, but I could be
Oh, well,
interested
that was
in.
my next question. Has
Yeah,
he
yeah.
reached out to you yet?
No one's reached out. I haven't had anyone reach out for years. I
Sad
don't know,
though,
like
isn't
I
it?
feel.
When you look, sorry to interrupt. When you look at your record,
Mm,
you know, people you have. I see critics. You know, oh, you haven't really fought anybody. You don't fight in the
yeah,
UK. You know, you obviously answer the critics, but your record is still a very very good record. And the way your character is, the way you
mm.
sell yourself, I don't get why you haven't had that exposure and why none of these big promoters have been in touch.
I personally believe with the correct promotion, I could be a star. Because sometimes what
I
it
do.
is as well is the general public, they don't take to you if they don't see someone that they believe in believing in you. So I could be there shouting from the rooftop saying I'm the greatest thing ever, all this sorts of stuff. If they don't see an Eddie Hearn or Frank Warren saying this guy's the best ever and all this sort of stuff, no one's going to buy into it. No one's going to believe into it. But I believe if I did have that and I had someone like shouting from the rooftops for me, 100%, I believe I've got the abilities to get people talking and interested.
I totally agree with that as well. That I just don't understand it. Obviously, we've been talking about what we've been talking about promotions and that, and
Mm.
obviously the ever evolving world of boxing is happening right now with new promotions happening and that. What do you think of the state of British boxing right now?
Uh, it's good and bad at the same time. I feel it could be better. I don't understand how a promoter can lose Sky Sports. I think that's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that's very bad because I think Sky Sports made Eddie Hearn a bigger superstar.
then DAZN.
100%. I think he was
Yeah,
putting on better shows. I think when Hearn was on Sky Sports, it was a clear difference between him and Warren, where he was above Warren. I believe now that it's the other way around, where it's they're both on the zone. I think it's quite competitive.
yeah.
I think it's very competitive. But when he was on Sky Sports, I don't think there was a promoter in the world that could touch him. I genuinely believe he was like a country mile above everyone. Um, but yeah, I just don't know. Like I feel like the place of like Channel 5, what's going on with them at the moment? I heard Wasserman's being sold. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's true.
Well, it sounds like Wasserman's putting on the Chisora and Wilder fight,
But
which
on
is going to
Sky
be
Sports pay per
Misfits
view,
Pro pay per view. Yeah,
so that kind of tells you the Channel 5 thing is going to be pushed aside,
yeah,
which doesn't really sound good.
yeah. It's a tough
Um,
time, isn't it? It's a weird one because like it's everything seems to be going pay per view, But sometimes the pay-per-views, even though we had probably spoiled times with Saudi being involved with some of the cards we had, the level went up with that, and then slowly it feels like it's drifting off a little bit with the pay-per-views and things.
It's difficult because you can't always produce a Saudi card unless you got the Saudi funding. That's the problem.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like if you haven't got the backing, then you ain't going to be able to do it. But that's why I can't understand how Ben Shalom's going to do pay-per-view, because he don't have no pay-per-view superstars.
Yeah,
even if he had like an Adam, Fraser, Francesca Hennessy, Jack Massey all on one card, that's just an okay card. It's not like it's oh my god, we need to watch some pay-per-view, pay £30 or whatever. It's just an okay card. Like,
well, they've done that recently. I think they were on the card recently when Fraser fought TKV. I think they were all on the card as well. So yeah, particularly Boxer. Yeah, I mean, I do worry about the future of Boxer. Obviously, Eddie and Frank have got the DAZN deal. It's just going forward. They've got that DAZN Ultimate platform as well, which includes your pay-per-views. But let's see as well what Dana White can do with ZUFFA Boxing, whether it affects anything on the British side of things, or it's just going to be overseas with America and places like that.
Doesn't seem to have signed any British fighters, but yeah, we'll see what you can do.
Well, as you mentioned earlier about with creating sort of like headlines, you have some fighters that like to not get involved in things, don't like to keep quiet, and then you get some fighters that like to create headlines, sell a fight. Do you believe we're in a time more now than ever that it is about just creating headlines rather than sort of what you just do in the ring?
I think it's always been like that. I think, like, I remember seeing Chris Eubanks Sr. saying, this is back in the 90s, that you want to be in the back page of the newspapers. You want to be the front, like, not the front. Obviously, the front is the front page, but like the back page is basically where the biggest superstar in sports would be. And he was like, as an athlete, as a sportsman, you want to be on that front back page, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that was like in the 90s and the 2000s before it all went digital and stuff. But he's somewhat, it's always been like that in boxing. Like, you need to stand out. You need to have something for people to be interested in. And I don't think anyone on, for example, if you look at Boxer like Ben Shalom's stable, I don't think any of them have that power.
You don't like Ben Shalom, do you?
No, I was just thinking of like a promoter in the UK.
I know he's.
I can't really say that about Matchroom because obviously AJ's a superstar. Yeah. But Queensbury have some people that could potentially be superstars. I just don't think Boxer do.
And there's one right here that could be on their books,
that's
isn't there?
That's a BBC slot that I could jump on and yeah.
Definitely. Simple question, this one. Would you ever do a Misfits fight?
Oh yeah, come on, who wouldn't? Like, obviously it depends who against, and what the fight. Like, for example, I wouldn't mind 100%. That's a walking punch bag. That's a proven loser. But I don't think Joe Laws would be interested in fighting me personally. But I don't know. Like, obviously, if he's offered the right amount of cash, and so am I, we could both get that on. But I don't even know what weight he campaigns at now. I think it's middleweight or something.
Yeah, I think it might be. He's definitely like gone up, hasn't he?
Yeah,
than what he was.
But if you look at his whole record, though, like, I think he's not even fought someone with a winning record. I mean, when I say fought, he's not beat anyone with a winning record. I think he beat one person, Mick Hennessy's son.
Right.
He beat Mick Hennessy's son. That's the only guy with a winning record.
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, it literally slipped my mind there as well. But then again, like, that was just a manufactured record. If that, no disrespect to him, like, your dad's Mick Hennessy, used to have Channel 5, quite knowledgeable in boxing. He just manufactured you to like 8-0 or whatever it was, and then you lost to someone who never beat anyone with a winning record. Like, yeah, just a bit fake. Like, yeah, but I don't know. That's definitely a fight that I'll be up for.
Would be good to see you, like, even just like I say, just to get you on UK shores. Even if he's Misfits, it would be good to get you back on.
Look, there's loads. There's plenty of fights out there for someone like me. I believe. There's many divisions. Like, for example, super lightweight, I believe I could fight someone like Adam Azim. Yeah. I don't see that as a bad fight. I believe there'll be a good build up in the fight as well. I know he isn't really the talking type. I know he says that he has to read Harry Potter to educate himself to to try and speak English better, even though English is his first language, as he was born in the UK, that is.
Yeah.
Like, I could help bring the best out of him in the verbal aspects. And obviously, I'd have to bring the best out of him in a fight as well, because I believe I beat him. So I'd be breaking every aspect of him, if that made sense.
Yeah.
So there's that option. Then there's like, if we was to go states wise, there's guys like Rowley. That could be a welterweight. Yeah. I've fought a welterweight before. I've won an IBF Continental title at welterweight. I'm not saying it's going to be easy fights, but I believe they're fights that I can win. I think he's got an ongoing investigation, criminal investigation going on as well. Could be wrong. Gervonta Davis is another one that I'd happily like to fight. I know he's American, not British, but he's like got another assault with women coming up again, which is that's a guy that needs to be punished. I don't mind being the guy that punishes him.
I'm sure most viewers would agree with that as well.
Well, I said this in a different interview I done last week in an American channel. They didn't really seem bothered that he was doing that. I don't know if it's like American culture or something where they might be for hitting women, but I don't know, like that's always been frowned upon, like from my angle, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so like I think, like he needs to be punished. I feel I could be the right guy for it. There's loads. Shakur Stevenson as well. Like I know he runs
next
around
week as well.
Yeah, he fights next week. But didn't he get involved in a incident at a gas station where he hit a guy and also punched a woman? Well, not a woman, a lady. Punched the lady, landed clean, but didn't hurt the lady.
It always seems to be stateside, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I'm saying, I don't know, like, but I feel like I could be like the judge, the jury, and the executioner against these guys.
Brilliant.
I'm not gonna do a Josh Padley and just stand there and just take my money and just make numbers up. I'm there. I'll be there to actually win. So yeah, like there's different options out there for me. I'm trying to think who else I could fight. Ryan Garcia. That's actually been sort of spoken about briefly, but something. Basically, there's a backer in India that wants to stage that fight in India. So I can't really talk too much into it, but there's talks of potentially that happening. But obviously, he's got to fight. What's his name? Barrios first.
Yeah.
For the WBC. But then you got to ask yourself, how did he even get the WBC title fight? He ain't won a fight in 3 years.
Yeah, this is
last
boxing
win was in 2023. He's not like he's a legend like Manny Pacquiao, where he's won 8-weight world champion. He's just a normal guy. Highest achievement is an interim world title. And he somehow got given an opportunity coming off a loss to fight for a world title, which to me, it's not what you know or who you know. In that aspect, it's who you blow. I think personally, but he's managed to get himself a world title fight, and he's got to make the most of it now.
I think that could be my catchphrase for my YouTube thumbnail. That one.
Yeah, it could work.
We will go back to some previous beef you've had. I know everyone will want me to ask you about this, the ISAAC LOWE feud. I'm sure a lot of people have asked you. It never ever got settled. All us boxing fans saw the back and forth between you both on social media.
Yeah.
Really, really entertaining stuff. I must say it was, brilliant to see. Are you gutted it never ever got settled?
100%. Like, I don't know, like ISAAC, to me, in my opinion, like he was a very easy option to beat, if that makes sense. Like, it's like
I know I've
mentioned, easy to wind up, and I don't think he's that good.
Yeah.
I mean that respectfully as well. Like, look, it takes balls to step into a boxing ring. It takes balls for anyone at any level. But I just believe ISAAC's level isn't a high level. I believe he's very easy to beat. I don't believe he punches very hard. I don't think he's physically strong. I don't think there's no one attribute where you'd go, yeah, that's really good, like his IQ's probably, but everything's bang average. Like average punch power, average strength, average cardio, average IQ. It just felt like it was there for me to look good and reap the rewards of it, but it just never happened. Like, I think like they wanted me to, the way it never happened was Wasserman was going to stage that. And they said to me, we'll give you a 2-fight deal. That's what it was going to be. It was going to be, well, 3 fights, pending I beat Isaac. So it was going to be a 2-fight deal. The first fight being for the IBO world title. It was going to be win your world title and then fight Isaac straight after that. They kept me waiting, and then they said, nah, just do the Isaac fight straight away. But I was in position to fight for the IBO at the time. So I was like, look, if you guys ain't going to do the IBO world title, I'm going to do it somewhere else. So it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
And then they basically said they weren't going to do it. And then I just went and done it myself. Initially, what actually happened was there was another boxer called Mohammed Wasim who was going to fight for it.
Okay.
And that happened only because Wasserman kept me waiting. But then, I don't know, like sometimes I say a bit of luck has to come into it. Mohammed Wasim's fight fell through. The belt become vacant again. And then I took the belt, if that made sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, like, to become world champion, sometimes there's many aspects that play into it, a bit of luck, back in, all that stuff. And then, I took the belt, and then they just didn't want to make the fight after that. Like, I don't know, like they weren't interested in it after. But I believe Isaac would have been someone pretty easy to beat. I believe Isaac's only in the position he's in, which isn't a great position.
Tyson Fury's cousin.
Yeah, or the sexual favors he's probably given Tyson. Tyson Fury's got a lot of cousins. Let's just be real here. Tyson's got a lot of cousins.
Yeah.
A lot of cousins. He doesn't need to just tag along with Isaac Lowe. There's got to be something Isaac's doing to him for him to go, yeah, I want this geezer to be around me, you know? He's like this guy with a really bad hairline, looks a bit funny. Like, I want him to be around me. But why, though? Why would you want Isaac Lowe, of all people, to be around you? Not just because he's your cousin. You want him around you because he's obviously doing something for you. He's obviously scratching his back in a certain manner. And obviously Tyson must like that.
Brilliant. I'll tell you, he's been very quiet as well, hasn't he? There was no activity in the ring last year. And it would have been great to see it settled. It doesn't seem like, obviously, it ever will now. And then there's another fighter as well, another one that got away, Sonny Edwards, now retired.
Yeah.
Talks of him coming back. Do you still believe Sonny ducked you?
I don't think it was a difficult fight to make.
There was rumours. Sorry to interrupt. There was rumours and talk of you sort of overpriced yourself and things like that.
Okay. An offer needs to be made for an overprice to happen.
Okay.
Unless a concrete offer with an actual TV network and an actual promotion is made. Because I could just bang around figures right now and say, look, I'd fight, I don't know, Adam Azim, and my team would pay him. And he'd come to, but we need to know like how realistic them figures are, and is that likely to happen, and what channel it's going to be on, what network it's going to be on, and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know, like I was never really like even told a figure really, if I'm honest, from them. The only figures I was told initially when I was to fight Sonny was years ago when around the time he was WBO European champion and I was WBO European champion. He was at Superfly and I was at Bantam. And I think at the time as well, Paddy Barnes might have been the one at flyweight. I think that might have been the other route. He was the flyweight one. I was the Bantam and he was Superfly. And yeah, that they offered something which didn't really make sense to me at the time, and that never happened. But yeah, it just never materialized. I think it's a fight that could have easily been made, though, if I'm honest.
There was also like the things with the catch weight as well. There was sort of issues talked about with that. Then there was obviously from Sonny Edwards himself saying about like money demands and things like that. Obviously, you've cleared that up, and then there's the weight issue. But it would have been good to have seen, like I say, Isaac Lowe and them Sonny Edwards fights. It's just a shame that these fights for British fans have gotten away, isn't it? It's just tragic, really.
Yeah, I agree. I still think the Isaac fight is somewhat possible.
Okay.
Obviously, it involves Isaac having to grow a set. I'm happy to fight from like super feathered, like super feather. Like even the Kakachi against Dickens match, the WBA world title fight. That's something I will look at very, very carefully because I believe I could beat both of them guys. That's just my opinion. Obviously, I'm entitled to it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's only one way to detect that properly, and that's why the fight actually taking place. But yeah, that's definitely something I'd be looking at and be open to if given the opportunity. If I can't get like any of the other guys I mentioned before, like an Adam Azim, which I believe that's another British guy, that's an easy fight to make. He's with a promoter. I'm not with a promoter, so that's they could easily get in contact and get that fight made. And it's not like it's a stupid match on paper. He's won a Commonwealth and an IBO World before. I've done the same. I've also picked up some other belts. So credential wise, I belong in that ring. If you look at his opponents as well, this is another thing. You got to look at the credentials of them opponents. Apart from Lipnets, I think that's his name.
Yeah, Sergio Lipnets. Yeah,
he was a world champion 11 years ago.
Lipnets was it? Yeah,
or 12 years ago in 2014. But that was an IBF world champion. If you was to minus him, I've achieved more than all his opponents.
And you're obviously high in the rankings as well.
That's another thing I was going to allude to. You got also, he's number 2 in the UK on BoxRec. I'm number 5. So it's not like it's like a ridiculous, like, oh my God, look at this, blah, blah, blah. It's a good match on paper. You got 2 British guys whose parents are from rival countries. And I believe that could be a big fight.
Yeah, really, really good fight. And I think
if Ben Shalom actually wants to do pay-per-view and wants to try and push something and promote something properly, he wants to contact me and we can try and build this fight.
Definitely. And I think what we'll do when this gets out, we'll put it on Twitter and we'll tag Boxer and Ben Shalom in it. That's what's got to happen, isn't it?
It's an easy fight to be, and sometimes this is how fights get made. You know, you jump on podcast interview type things, with respected channels like yourself, and
thank you very much.
Hopefully, people like Ben Shalom look at what the fans and the supporters of boxing want, and what fights could help him actually live his dream of pay-per-view.
Definitely.
Because what he doesn't want is a Dalton Smith, where apparently only 17 people bought the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know how true that.
I did see that. I think it's tragic as well. It's a shame. But you know what, though? You don't price your pay-per-views at what they do. That was ridiculous, weren't it?
Yeah, I noticed America do that quite a lot. Like, you get like 60, 70 pound pay-per-views, and it's like, you want people to pay that. Like, it's crazy. You're not even there live watching it. You're just watching it on TV. Like,
it was absolute craziness.
Was that true then, that 17 pay-per-views?
I am going probably what you saw, but there was multiple sources that said that.
Okay.
Ridiculous, mate. Honestly, it really is. But with your character, obviously comes some controversy sometimes.
Yeah.
A totally different weight division. You upset FRAZER CLARKE. I remember that confrontation in 2023. You threatened legal action at the time.
Yeah.
Did anything ever come about that? And have you ever seen FRAZER CLARKE face to face since?
No, I've never seen him face to face since. Nothing come of it. I done how can I even describe this? Like a thing with Boxing King Media where I went to Morocco with Ty and Booth.
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, it sort of got squashed like there, and like not he wasn't out there, but BKM, the one that who come out with us, he's quite good friends with Frazer. So like he was doing like little clips of me speaking to Frazer and Frazer doing a clip back and stuff like that. It wasn't shown on the thing, but like we're kind of cool and stuff. But I don't know. I just feel like with Frazer, like just like I don't really have any emotions towards him, really, if that makes sense. Like it's for me to actually have hate towards someone. You got to really done me dirty, if that makes sense. Like Frazer was just a bit of tongue in cheek, like a wind up at school type of thing. Not like nothing like major, like, oh, it's my family against his family. It's just something small, really.
And obviously he lost to Jamie TKV, and it looks like he's getting back in training again to come back to the ring. Hopefully FRAZER CLARKE can get back to winning ways as well.
Look, the loss he took against Fabio Wardley, the second fight they had, when he to even come back from something like that. Now look, I could sit here and start slagging him off, which I'm not going to do. I'm just saying, look, fair play to the guy for even stepping foot into a gym again after what happened there. Because from what I saw at the time, I was like, yes, but like really and truly, it's like, nah, like look at you don't want something bad to happen to someone. Do you know what I mean? So like when I looked at his face and you could see like the dent in his
Oh,
face, and he
that's
needed to
horrific.
be things. It just tells you like it's a very dangerous sport, and that's why fighters need to be getting paid like what they deserve, sort of thing.
So
Even
true.
more than they deserve, hopefully. Like, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. I can't disagree with that.
I could see actually Fraser becoming like British champion or something.
Well, I reckon Johnny Fisher's going to get his chance against Jamie TKV. It looks like.
TKV, I think, beats Johnny Fisher. In my opinion, though.
I'd agree with that as well. Johnny's obviously a great character for the sport, got a lot of followers, brings the crowd, but
Yeah, seems a nice guy as well. But I just don't think he, ability wise, is up there with these guys. I think TKV was on GB as well.
yeah,
He trained at Ben Davidson's gym. Barry Smith there as well. Barry's a good coach. Yeah, he's good stock. He's mixing with good stock there.
I worry about Johnny Fisher's punch resistance as well. I do when I've seen him since the Dave Allen fights as well.
Dave Allen can punch a bit though.
Oh yeah, definitely. But even the last fight, I mean, again, he was in with a punch.
Oh yeah, against the unbeaten, but not really. Yeah, I know you want about.
He was dropped again and wobbling. And
yeah, wait.
I wish Johnny Fisher well, but I do have my reservations with him. But I'll obviously do more shows about Johnny Fisher in the future with his fights coming up and that. Back to your boxing career now.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, you've got a fight coming up. You're 33 now.
Yeah.
What do you feel the sport holds for you? What's left for you in the sport?
I want big fights. Just big fights. I want big domestic dust-ups. I think Adam Azim, obviously, as I said before, that's a big domestic dust-up. Some of the guys I mentioned, people might look at like it's not going to happen, like Gervonta Davis and stuff like that, which probably wouldn't happen. But I think any real man would like to fight someone like him, just based on what he's done.
Yeah,
like in basic words, he's a scumbag. Like he's out there, he's putting his hands on women. Probably taller than him because obviously he's a small dude. He's like 5'4" or something. But he's just a bully basically. It's bully tactics. You're not getting your way with the girl sexually, obviously. So he's getting a bit upset about it, and he's just throwing his weight around and he's trying to like bully them. But so there's him. I don't like Shakur Stevenson hitting a woman at a gas station, regardless whether he was fighting her boyfriend or not. That's another person. I won't do a Josh Padley and just stand there and collect my check. There's Ryan Garcia, drug cheat. I think the 6 month or year ban wasn't good enough. Conor Benn as well. That's a domestic fight. I don't think he had a punishment. I think he's had everything given to him with a silver spoon, probably with a gold spoon, to be fair. Like, just everything. He was designed to be successful, if that made sense. Like, the promotional team didn't want him to anything else but that. That to me kind of makes me sick a bit resentful probably. So he's someone I'd like to fight. As I said before, the Adam Azim fight is very easy to make. Just big fights. Kakachi against Dickens winning. Winner. I'd like to fight the winner of that.
Not too long away either, that fight. Not too long away now.
Not too long away, yeah. But these are all fights that I would like to have now. My next fight should get me a top 15 with the WBA, but that'll be at super lightweight. If they need me to have a fight at super feather before I could fight one of them guys, I can easily do that. So I could get ranked at basically super feather. That's a fight that I'd like to have. I want big fights that kind of make sense.
Yeah, I get it totally. You deserve
like
it.
We're talking the British guys. I know. Look, you'll probably look at me and think, look, Conor Benn's a stupid thing to. It's not going to happen, sort of thing, which it probably won't ever happen. But that's someone I'd like to fight. I don't particularly like Nigel. I don't like the way Nigel's gone about his business as a man, especially with the treatment of his other son Harley.
Yeah,
just abandoned him. I'm not really for guys that abandon their children. That's coming from someone who's never met his dad, by the way. So that's probably why it's a bit more personal to me.
Yeah.
And I don't even like Harley. So the fact that I'd like to fight Conor because of it, it's just purely because I just don't like Nigel. But then you got Adam Azim, I believe, is a big fight for me. And then the Dickens Kakachi winner, 100%. Or even, to be honest, there's there's another fight on the same card with a guy called Colin Murphy and John O'Carroll.
Yeah.
I believe they're both guys that I could beat fairly comfortably.
Really?
So yeah, potentially a fight with them could work.
It always opens doors as well, obviously, where you're you can transition with the different weights as well. That's massively a help with opening doors as well.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I probably ideally should be super feather, but if the bigger fights are going to come at super lightweight, then I'm happy to be at super lightweight. I'm comfortably making the weight. It means I can have a breakfast in the morning of the weigh-in,
Mm,
and I can eat what I want. So when I say eat what I want, obviously within moderation,
yeah,
because I want to try and go into this match quite chiseled up, rather
yeah.
than being a bit like a jelly baby with a bit of a belly. Like, so
Brilliant.
that's what I'm going to try and do.
Well, this is the last and final question I've got for you now. It's been brilliant
Mm,
interview, by the way. What's
thank you.
coming after boxing for Prince Patel? Is it a modelling career or something like
Oh, my mum keeps telling me. My mum
that?
keeps telling me that she wants me more acting, but I don't know if I believe if I could build like a bit more fame in boxing, I believe I could get into acting fairly easy. And I'm
Oh,
fairly
really?
good at acting as well. Anyway, like I could put characters on pretty easy. So yeah, maybe
Any other career options after you've thought about?
just probably just that really.
Just
To be honest,
acting.
I hope to have made enough money within boxing where I don't have to work again.
Fair enough.
That's the idea. The idea in boxing is to get to a certain level, and then once you're at that level, leave when you don't need to continue doing it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
So
absolutely get that.
that would be my ideal. Yeah.
It's been really, really brilliant talking to you. Is there anything else you'd like to add at the end now?
No, that's thanks for having me. I know it's been like we've been on and off. We're trying to get this on. Probably fault of my own. I just go through like some ups and downs in my life, and
That's all right.
yeah. But yeah, hopefully we can we could do this sometime again, maybe after the fight or something like that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. It's been brilliant getting. It's been really good talking to you and getting to know your character as well. Obviously, we
mm,
see these things online on social media, but actually talking to
mm,
you, you get to see a
yeah.
hell of a lot more. It's been a fascinating interview, and I wish you all the luck with your career. Still loads left
Thank
in
you,
Prince Patel. Hopefully, get these fights on UK shores and the big fights you deserve as well.
thank you. Next time I'll have a haircut though, so I won't be wearing a hat and all that.
That's
But
no
okay.
problem. That's no problem at all. And thanks very much for your
All right.
time, Prince Patel.
Thanks. Take
Speak
care,
to you
mate.
soon.
Take
Thank you,
care.
mate.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.